Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. This is scenario 4.5 over at the Elemental Trenches with the character of Drelm. And at this location, at the start of your turn, roll 1d6. Recharge all cards in your hand that have this trait. Alright, so that's what we're dealing with. Drelm's hand is set. We will advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Anubis. We'll roll for the Elemental Trenches. We roll a 2. So anything with the Bludgeoning trait. Fortunately, we don't have anything with the Bludgeoning trait. So we are all set. Now Drelm will explore. Okay, he gets Yellow Jelly. So it's immune to mental, piercing, poison, and slashing traits. So Drelm can't use his Falcata. Let's see, after you act, if the result, well, you know what we're going to do? We don't want to deal with that after you act effect. We're going to go ahead and use our Death Grip spell, which not only has the cold trait, but we can ignore any non-villain monster's power that happens after you act. So is that sweet or what? Well, Death Grip is Divine, which is D8 plus 5, plus that 2d8. So let's see, I think that's 5, 6, 7. So what's really cool is that's an auto defeat. So the Yellow Jelly is banished. We don't suffer the after you act effect. And now we're rolling to see if we recharge Death Grip. So we rolled 3. We buffed up Drelm's Wisdom plus 3. So that's a total of, this is a Divine check. So I always have to do that, Divine, not Wisdom. So the Divine is a plus 6 buff. So we rolled a 9, and check that out, we just needed a 10. You know, that's a really handy spell. I wonder if I want to recharge it or not. Well, Drelm wasn't able to recharge it. It's probably due to the Elemental Trenches effects. Resetting Drelm's hand, advancing the Blessings deck. We're going to roll for Elemental Trenches, d6, see what happens. We roll a 5, so anything with the fire trait. Looking at Drelm's hand, nothing has the fire trait, so we are going to explore. Alright, we get a Trapped Locker. So the Trapped Locker, Dexterity Disable 9 or Strength Melee. So it is a trap, so Drelm can use his Divine skill, and Drelm can use his Disable skill. So Disable is a plus 4 buff. Actually, his Disable is a plus 5 buff, and his Divine is a plus 6 buff. So right off the bat, his modifiers are plus 11. So wow. So basically, this is an auto defeat. It says if defeated, draw an armor from the box. Wow, that is very fortuitous. Alright, drawing a random armor from the box. Going to shuffle up the giant stack of armors here. Let's go ahead and roll a d30, see what happens. And we rolled a 5. So the 5th armor down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from the Trapped Locker, we find a Burglar's Buckler. Alright, well that's going in Drelm's discard pile, because he likes all of his other cards. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of the Elements. So we're going to roll for the Elemental Trenches. So a 3, anything with the cold trait. Okay, cool. Nothing with the cold trait. And we will explore. We get a Compass, Wisdom Survival. This is an auto acquire for Drelm. His Wisdom is D8 plus 3. So we can discard this card to explore your location. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. See what we get. Oh, we get a Blessing of Thoth. Well, that's pretty exciting. So it's a Divine 6. So this is an auto acquire. Alright, very cool. So we'll go ahead and use it. It says discard this card to examine the top card of your location deck. If the card has the undead trait, you may explore your location. Okay, we'll do it. We're going to explore. We're going to examine. Examine, hey, check that out. Examine, and it does have the undead trait. So we can go ahead and explore. Well, that's cool. So combat 10, if the check to defeat has the divine trait. Well, we're not going to have the divine trait, we're just going to blast it with the Falcata. So it's just a straight up combat 10 with the Falcata. It's a D10 plus 2D4 plus a Drelm's melee buff of plus 4. So it's almost an auto. It's almost an auto defeat, but we will go ahead and roll the dice. Alright, so we rolled a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the Blasphemous Priest has been defeated. And that's it. Alright, looking at Drelm's hand. Drelm's hand has been fine the entire scenario. We do get the Curse of Withering, unfortunately. So we got a Curse of Withering to deal with. That really sucks. And we have to also roll for the Elemental Trenches. We roll a 6, so anything with the Poison trait. Okay, we don't have anything with the Poison trait. So we will explore. Okay, we get the Acute Senses spell. This is an auto acquire. So we can go ahead and use it for its power. Display this card next to a character's deck while displayed. That character adds 1 die to his perception checks. After that character explores, so I guess technically we can use it right now. We can examine the top card of the location deck. Okay, cool. So we'll do that. We will examine this top card. Oh, it's a trigger. Boom. We have to succeed at a stealth or survival 9 check, or the Shrieking Plant is undefeated. So, although unfortunately, Drelm's stealth and survival are both D4s. So, the thing is we could use a Blessing of Pharasma. It says, if undefeated, examine the top 3 cards of your location deck and encounter the first monster you find. Okay, so we'll have to do that. Well, we set off the Shrieking Plant. We're examining the top card. Well, that has a trigger. And since it has a trigger, we have to encounter that. Shuffle a weapon, an armor, or an item into your location deck. Oh, neat. So it says, when you examine this card, shuffle a weapon, an armor, or an item into your location deck. So we are going to choose weapon. That's what we want. We're going to choose weapon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Randomly determining which weapon we are shuffling into our deck. And I believe that it does that. We just go ahead and continue encountering this card. I'm rolling to see which card is on top of the location deck. It's that one. So we'll continue encountering the baited jewel box. The difficulty to defeat is increased by the scenario's adventure deck number, so that would be a 4. So then it says, if 4 or more, draw an item from the box. I like this card because it's one of the rare cards that has a benefit when you examine it. But as it is, well, Drelm's disable, so it's a trigger cash lock poison veteran. So Drelm can't use his divine skill on this. So it's a straight up disable. He needs a 10, and Drelm's disable is D8 plus 5, so that's looking pretty good. But just to make sure, we'll use the Blessing of Abdar. We can, is this a barrier? It is a barrier, so we can add 2 dice. 20 check to defeat a barrier. Well, this is Drelm. I mean, he doesn't mess around when it comes to traps and locks. Oh yeah, 8, 6, 3. That's like 17 plus 5 is 21. We'll get a 10. If defeated by 4 or more, draw an item from the box. Well, of course, that's what we're going to do. That is banished. We will randomly decide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that item. So we get a crowbar. Woohoo! That's always exciting. Alright, the crowbar goes into our hand. We have to continue with our Acute Senses spell, right? Or no, we have to examine the top 3 cards of our deck. What was? Oh, that's from the Shrieking Plant. Okay. So now we examine this one and we examine the next one. Okay. So check that out. The Shrieking Plant. So all we had to do was examine the top 3 cards, or examine the top 3 cards of our location deck. We didn't even encounter a monster. That's cool. So we know what's on top, these 2 weapons. That's pretty awesome. So then, taking a coffee break there. I forgot we had Curse of Withering, but I think we would have handily have defeated the beta jewel box anyway, even with the Curse of Withering. We'll have to remember we have that. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's the Blessing of Khepri. We have to roll for Acute Senses. It's an auto recharge. Now we are rolling for Elemental Trenches. So for anything with the electricity trait, Drelm doesn't have anything. Alright, we get the Fire Kukri. So this is a melee +6. It's an auto acquire. That's pretty cool. Looking at Drelm's hand, he's got to get rid of some cards. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of the Crowbar and the Fire Kukuri. I don't think I'm going to need that. So then, resetting the hand. Now we will advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Mat. We are going to roll for Elemental Trenches. So 2, anything with the bludgeoning trait. We don't have anything with the bludgeoning trait. So then we will examine. We get the blowgun. So this actually, it's a dexterity check. Drelm's dexterity is D6, but he has a Curse of Withering. So it's just a D4. He rolls a 4. It's not enough. That card is banished. Looking at Drelm's hand, we got a lot of good stuff here. So we're just going to leave it as is. Advancing the Blessings deck, rolling for Elemental Trenches. Rolled a 5, anything with the Fire trait. Don't have anything with the Fire trait. So then we will explore, and we get the villain. Dun dun dun. Tef-Najv. So this guy is immune to the electricity trait. He's an outsider elemental Janny Magus. Okay, so basically before you act, if another character is at your location, well, this is a solitaire campaign, so we don't have to deal with that. So it's a combat 24. So I'm going to use the Falcata and I'm going to discard it. Strength melee plus 2d4 plus another 2d4. And we're using a Blessing of Pharasma on that. So we get to roll the 2d10. We get to roll a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4d4. Any of those 4s are going to turn into 5s. What we're going to do is we will go ahead and use our embalming fluid to add plus. He's not immune to, he's just immune to that. So cool, we can use this. We'll add +2 to our trait. And then since we have the Curse of Withering, we gotta turn these 2 d10s into d8s. So we're rolling all these dice. Our total buffs are 6. So +6, and we need a 24. Alright, let's go ahead and roll these dice. So we rolled a 6 and a 7 and a 4, which turned into a 5. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 4 is 20. And our buffs were +6, and we just needed a 24. Okay, so we... So it says here, if the result of the check to defeat is less than 35, check out... Oh, sweet. So it is less than 25. We are able to get this traitor, and we defeat this villain, even though we had the Curse of Withering. Okay, so the villain is banished. The location is closed. And let's go ahead and do a deck check. So, technical difficulties here. That was pretty cool. I mean, Curse of Withering made that a little challenging. Otherwise, I think that villain would have been maybe a bit of a pushover. Let's go ahead and do a deck check here. So these are what is in Drelm's hand. He did acquire some new items, but Nothing of like this is just a level 1. Let's work on that glare that's going on here. We got the Blessing of Thoth. That's pretty cool. We got some new armor. So yeah, we got a lot of new items, but unfortunately nothing new to trade. But enough to, we got the Acute Senses spell. Let me move this over here like that, see if that helps out. Blessing of Kepri. I think that I just adjusted my light. I think that may have made it worse. The glare. The glare. Oh, the glare. Okay. Corrosion spell. That's really cool. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do is we are going to see what the reward for the scenario was. The reward, of course, is the Trove of Tef-Najv, and also the reward is a random non-basic blessing. Okay, so I'm going to get this giant stack of blessings. I'm going to see which one we get. Roll in my big D30 and a D6. So we get to roll the 5th. So this is a random non-basic blessing. So let's see if this one is. No, that's a basic blessing. So starting from the top. Okay, we get a Blessing of Osiris. Wow, that is really interesting. I've never really acquired that blessing before. And it would be really cool if Drelm were, well, what's cool about this is that it's a level 4. So we got some stuff we can trade here. So we can visit this trader, the Trove of Tef-Najv. And so you draw one random weapon, one of the same adventure deck number as the scenario. It costs 4 boons. 4 boons to get one of his treasures. But the deal is that they are going to be level 4 treasures. But it's really not worth it. Drelm wants to go ahead and meet the Smiths of Wati. I got the Blessing of Osiris and the Staff of the Uraeus, which I want to get rid of. I mean, I like this card, but it has the poison trait. So, Drelm wants a new weapon, and you know what? I actually might keep, I might want to hold on to this Fire Kukuri because it has a fire trait, and that could be very useful because anything with the fire trait, that's like my all-time least favorite enemy is the Scarab Beetle. So I think I'm going to keep the Fire Kukuri. Alright, looking for what the trader, the Smiths of Wate, is going to trade us. So looking for weapons of, there's a level 4, there's a level 3, and there's a level 3. Okay, so these are our options. We're going to trade in the Blessing of Osiris and the Staff of the Uraeus. But unfortunately these aren't really too interesting. We're definitely not taking the Dagger of Dublin. Dagger of Dublin, no. Disrupting Rapier. Use your strength and melee skill plus 2d4. Discard another d4. I mean, I don't like it. This one's interesting. So it's like it's a finesse magic for a combat check. Reveal this card to use your strength and melee skill plus 1d6 plus 2. If the Bane has a Constructor Golem trait, add another 1d8 and ignore the Bane's immunities. So I kind of like that. That's nifty. It's very situational, but we are going to take it. We're going to trade the Smiths of Wati, the Staff of the Uraeus, and the Blessing of Osiris to get the Shatter Touch Shotel. Alright, so then that's the state of Drelm's deck right now. What we're going to do is we will have for his weapons, I mean, he's been using this Falcata most of the campaign. Kind of hate to let it go, but we're going to get it for the Fire Kukuri, or whatever you call that. So these are the weapons. These are his same spells. We'll just have to discard some of those items, or the boons he got, to make his deck legal. Nothing really that he's going to keep. He's going to not keep the compass or the crowbar, obviously, so getting rid of those right now. Alright, well that is that adventure. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll have another scenario up shortly. Alright, thank you.